Okay, so we are back with a very special edition because I managed to hit the magical level of 100 subscribers, which may seem very simple and very silly to a lot of you, but when you're doing this part-time and trying to get out videos in your spare time, then it's not easy. So as a special treat, I have something quite special. It is a white wine, a very old white wine with a prickly top, because it's quite a prickly white wine. This is a 1999 white wine, and I thought we'd do something special because I opened it the other day. And contrary to popular belief, where white wines are basically something you should drink very soon, I have had some, and that is majoritarily the case, I have had some very, very special white wines. So without further ado, we are going to get into this. Now I have a new format as well, which I've been playing around with, and I even recorded this when I only had 97 subscribers and made a comment about that. But manual settings, whether I did 50 Hertz, 60 Hertz, auto, I could not get rid of the flicker. I tried getting rid of it in post, horrendous. Anyway, I will not bore you on those technical details. I'm now doing it again, and I am going to give you, hopefully, with a little bit of sediment, a better view of the wine. So this is a 1999. This is quite a special wine. And this has been in the bottle for over 20 years. So it is almost as old as my Land Rover. And I don't know if you can see from the colour, it's quite a special colour. Now, this has aged actually quite well. And so the other thing that's quite interesting before I get into this is Majestic sent me the Bochassis. I don't know if you remember, but I'll point to it. If you missed the Majestic premium case, it is, you'll see it up there. But they sent me 4 bottles of the wine, which is very nice, which you can see in this video, and was until then my best wine. A quick update since: the Comte de Beaulieu, or I call it the Comte de Beaulieu, is actually very, very good. And I did hint, I think, that it may have needed decanting, but I wasn't sure that it should do when it's so young. But I did decant it, and it was pretty, I mean, it's still quite a light wine for my liking, but it has enough alcohol to carry it through. Very nice wine. But I've already tried the other one of these, because I recorded the video yesterday, and then I finished it off thinking, I've done a really nice video, so I'm going to have to open this one. But it is, I mean, I'll tell you, it's very nice. So, we're going to get on to quickly the Vivino app. This wine is at present £178 if you were to try and buy a 1999 one. So I should have left it for 178 subscribers. Okay, so this is Morgadeo da Torre Alvrainho. Now, Alvrainho is a very nice white wine. It's a very particular white wine. It's very fruity peachy, I think, but dry at the same time. It's a peculiar wine. And so even when I was in Holland with a sort of foodie friend of mine whose wife is from Bordeaux, and they drink, they're used to very, very nice wines, both white. He's got good taste in both white and red wine, which is not always the case. But he took me to a seafood restaurant. We got through a few bottles of this because Albarinos are very special, especially with seafood. Very popular with seafood in Spain, and they should be in more parts of the world. And it's one of the few wines that ages quite well. So if we get into it, what I found yesterday is that it is slightly sparkling. And it's interesting because one of the best white wines that I had old was at the, I can't remember. It was a birthday party. My distant family member got out a box of 12 Diamantes, which is a sparkling sweet Spanish wine. And so we drank the whole box of 12 in, there was a few of us, it wasn't just me, and it wasn't like this, I promise. But what was interesting is that each bottle was slightly differently sherrified, and this is basically the sherrification which makes it this colour, and it's still got all the smell. It's actually mellowed a bit, because a lot of Albarinos for me can be just a bit too much. But this, it has mellowed, and it is an absolutely fantastic wine. Now, we have another addition, because when I looked in the notes for Vivino, they said that this wine was quite acid. And what I've been wanting to do for a while now is do the acid test. So I've got here some pH papers, and we're going to test to see if this wine, after 20 years, has developed any acidity. It should be within a certain band, and we'll check it to see that it still is. But let's get to the Vivino tastings of this amazing cheeky number. So I put a quick review saying still keeping it together after 20 years, which, you know, not many humans can do. So they say pear, apple and peach. 127 mentions of tree fruit notes. I mean, now bear in mind this, so when I entered this wine, they were trying to give me like the 2019 or 2020. This is 20 years older than that, 21 years older than that. But the pear, apple and peach is still there. It's quite amazing. It's absolutely astonishing for a white wine. I mean, everyone just says it can't possibly. Now, one thing to bear in mind, this wine has obviously been kept well. So white wines, and not all white wines will keep this way. So don't blame me if you go and get a load of white wines and keep them and then they're awful. It's life. But it is worth keeping certain ones of them. Or if you see a white wine, you know, in a restaurant where they're probably going to give you another bottle anyway, you know, or in a shop, or, you know, just open it and have it and enjoy it. Some of them are just absolutely surprisingly amazing. And what I think it does is it actually teaches you a lot about the wine aging process. Because red wines, I mean, if a red wine is generally we drink a red wine that's old because it's been meant to be old, and sometimes it was too green to have before, so it's in its right time. And there are things that you pick up when you've tried a wine like this, and you know what the modern wine is like, that you can see the full aging in a white wine that you can't necessarily see in a well-preserved red. So it's amazing that it's keeping all its pear, apple and peach and fruity flavours. The citrus, lemon and grapefruit is all still there as well. Now, this is interesting. Minerals, honey and stone. It's a very... so I wouldn't normally... I'm trying to remember if mineral is for me, mineral is more of a sophisticated... No insult meant at all, but the Albarinho is a very fresh and fruity, and mineral I associate with like really expensive Chardonnays from Bordeaux that, you know, cost a lot of money for a reason. But this has the mineral, honey and stone because it's earned it. It's worth it. There's also a bit of funky sediment in the bottom that I really want to avoid. Tropical pineapple and lychee, yes. Cheese, cream and oil. I mean, who is this? Who finds? It must have been, I don't know. I mean, I'd say if it's cheese and cream, maybe, but you don't have cream with wine. Maybe cheese, they were having it with wine, but oil? Yeasty notes, meh. I don't know. Some people, but yeah, this is, now I do like, because my present lighting setup is picking out the colour, and I know before I've been trying to give you guys a sense of the colour, and it's not necessarily been working. Oh my god, and the Nikon has even focused on it. Oh, you new firmware, you. I love that when, yeah, we won't go there. So, butter, vanilla and oak. Butter. There's a bit of vanilla. There's a tiny bit of oak. Butter. So it's beautifully clarified, but it's not butter. Pepper, green herbs and lemongrass all day long. Now lemongrass is interesting. Yep. Grass. Oh, now grass. It's got a little edge of Zubrówka. I don't know if you've had there's a vodka made in Poland that has a piece of grass in it. And it has got that wonderful grassy overtone of Zubrówka. Gooseberry. There's only 2 wines today, so one can't really be a gooseberry. There'd have to be 3. It's a very English joke. Straw. Yeah, actually there is. Acacia, honeysuckle and jasmine. You know, this wine, now so old is getting more things than. So if I had probably tasted the young version, I wouldn't have necessarily got this. But it is actually showing me now that it is the 1999 one. So maybe, I mean, Vivino has been around for a while now. Cranberry. Yeah, there is a bit of acidity, but not the sugared cranberry. You know, the kind of cranberry where you go, wow, is that what cranberry tastes like without a ton of sugar? Dried apricot. Definitely, it has it. Black currant. No. I mean, no. There's no black currant ever in a white wine, even after 20 funky years. There's no way. I don't know, I'm trying to think of a white wine that has black currant in it. I can't think of one right now. So should we read the reviews? Enjoyable with some olives. Oh dear God, kill me. I mean, we are going to do that video on how useless food pairings are these days. I mean, it was all right when there were, you know, anyway, it doesn't matter. Very good Vino Verde, full of dryness, lightly sparkling. Now this is the thing, great with the risotto green peas. He's just saying what he had it with. That's fine. But it was slightly sparkling when new, which is interesting. The lightly sparkling, I mean, I'm not drawing a conclusion here because it's only, you know, a few older white wines that I've had that have been sparkling. But that is very good. Now we're going to do the acid test to see how acid this is. So we have our pH strip. We are going to put it in here and we are going to see the colour that comes from that. I'm going to leave it there for a bit. It's initially, you know, it hasn't gone bright red or black, so we're good so far. And I'm going to let that sort of, I'll show you there what it's doing anyway, so you can see. But I'll let that progress a bit and dry off. And in the meantime, we are going to go to our fantastic Bourchassis, which Majestic very kindly sent to me. I sent an email after I did the last episode, and they said there are 2 bottles coming your way, and that they would pick up the 2 extra bottles, which I thought was a bit strange, but you know, I'm more than happy for them to do so. So I've had them waiting there, and I've now since had 2 deliveries of wine from Majestic, and they haven't picked it up, which, you know, yeah, that's life. So there's a lovely capsule there, and there is a proper cork, you know. This is a company who want me to like. Oh, that is a lovely, lovely. Does this work? Is this probably too small for Nikon's focus? Oh, look at that. Look at that. That is amazing. So yeah, we're going to let that focus there, and we're going to look at this. So yeah, I'm really, really, really happy with the wine colour. So let's see if we can bring that colour to you right now. Look at that. That is an astonishing wine. Absolutely. Look at the colour. Now, it is, I believe, 14.5%. It hits you the first time you drink this wine, but it hits you in such a nice way. Yeah, I mean, it is just, yeah, it is just amazing. So let's get to it. Let's get our little acid test going. Oh God, this thing's got a pull thing, and it didn't work, but I then put my hands on the sharp pull. It's good to, see if I can get that piece of cork out. There we go. I've got, now it hasn't immediately gone some dreadful colour. So again, we should be good to go. I'll leave that there to dry a bit. And we are going to go straight into the Vivino and see what the public at large have to say about the 2019 Bourchassis. Yeah, I love this label, by the way. I don't know if you can look at the, I'm sorry to jump around, but that label is just astonishing, isn't it? It's been through. I just love the fact that paper can last that long. It's gone back to the face. The face recognition is on fire tonight. Right, so 3.6. Now, the Albarin is 3.9, which is very good for a dry out wine doll. $12.99. Now, that's interesting. This wine's gone up since I looked at it earlier. It was about £10 something. So obviously, some more people have had it. I don't know how much it is, but just so you can see I'm not lying, there is the cost of the, does it work? £178 is how much you would pay if you wanted the Alvrainho from 1999. I won't say that I may have used some of it for cooking, but it did make some rather amazing coquinas. Was it coquinas or almejas? Some mollusks of the bivalve variety were very good with this. So we have a Lirac 2009 with a fantastic cork telling us a few things already. So let's go. I gave it a good, bold and big Lirac. I'm not big on putting saddle leather and all this kind of stuff in here, but I do love reading what other people say. And so to me, if I was going to do that tasting and put all that rubbish there, I would do, and I'm hoping to do this in one of the episodes where I've got a kit somewhere from Harrods that has all the different smells you can put into a glass, and you can sort of go finding things. I find that's very useful if you are, because you pick up things when you go and smell some vanilla in a glass and go there. It's much more accurate to see whether you, because sometimes things can be vanilla-y, but they're not necessarily the vanilla. That's not the best example, but sometimes you can see things in a wine that are actually a result of something else. So let's go to our Bourgeoisie. We have black currant. Yes. Look at it. That's why it's got black currant. It is. Light will not shine through this wine. Now, I must admit, the one that I had yesterday that had breathed a little bit was a little less harsh. This is slightly warmer than I would normally have it, so the alcohol is coming through a bit more, and the 14.5 degrees of alcohol are coming through a bit more. But we're not going to go and chill this now. So black currant, blueberry, dark fruit all day long. Cherry, raspberry, cranberry. Now, I'm not picking up the cranberry in here, but definitely the cherry and the raspberry. There's not the... I don't know if the raspberry is coming from the acidity. As I check my pH to see it hasn't gone, as acid as. So oak, I can't read, it's not very oaky, but that could be the alcohol. Stone and earthy. Cheese, Mr. Yeasty or Mrs. Yeasty Notes cheese is back. Fig, I think someone just keeps putting fig in everything. I'm not big on the fig in this, unless it's a fig cake, the kind of fig that's been. So medium to full bodied, is what people say about it. Really delicious. It is. Great with beef casserole. Well, of course it is. Good Lord. Splendid Lirac, and certainly not my last one. It's not my last either. Smooth the so I think that's raspberry finish. And smooth. So nice, quite dry it is. Bold dark fruit to start with, some strawberry and oak flavours to finish. Somebody here says that it's a bit acid. And tannic, highly acidic, dried berries. I'm not getting the tannic, but that... So I was having, just before this, I was finishing a bit of the maruja that I did in the other one. That is so tannic. But I'm not picking up in here. I don't know if the acidity, I think, is just the alcohol that people are picking up. It is. I mean, it's got a finish to it. The dried berries are definitely there. Lacks roundness despite having a nice length. I've had many better bottles from the village. This sounds like somebody who makes the wine from the village and maybe is a little bit jelly jealous. Nearly a 5-star rating. You see, I originally gave this a 3.5 and I went back as a moment of generosity and gave it another point. I give this a 4. It is an absolutely astonishing wine, and as you can see, acidity levels are perfectly fine. So I'm going to put a link in the description for you to see an article that I thought was kind of nice about acidity. So acidity in wine should stay at a certain level. I'm not going to bore you about this at the moment, but it's kind of critical for its maturing. And I think the other thing just to mention is that it's, so yeah, the reason I sort of brought out this, I was once at a pool party, as you know, we all are sometimes. It was a pool party with a lot of champagne, as you know, as used to happen in the good old days before we were all locked down, and you know. But the less about that, the better. But yeah, we put some of the pH strips into some of the champagnes we were drinking, and the short of it was that they were probably more acidic than you'd want to swim in. And anybody who's had a very bad champagne hangover will vouch for me that the acid makes itself noted if you overdo the champagne. But there was a phase of getting some of the vineyards here were getting some very old Spanish wines, and some of them don't age as well as they should do, especially from the years where before steel vats for the malolactic phase, a lot of the Spanish wines kind of overheated when they were being fermented, and they just didn't age well for it. But the long story short is that I had some of them and they were so acidic, they were just undrinkable. But these are perfect, and so yeah, I mean, I was quite obviously this is going to be, you know, as it should be, but I'm quite happy, and well, I can more or less see it in the tasting. But look at these two wonderful colours. But yeah, I mean that if you are going to drink an old wine, it is worth doing the acidity test, because you could make, I mean, there's no good from drinking stuff that's very acidic. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope colour cam came through, despite my bright red polo shirt. But yeah, I'm liking the closer up view. I am liking the shallower depth of field, and I'm liking the fact that I can portray some of that colour to you. I think it's coming through a bit better. Let me know in the comments below if colour cam is working. But yeah, so I will not go on anymore. I think we deserve some more of these golden oldies will be making their way in. But yeah, as you can see, the Christmas stuff is already making its way. December is in full swing. So yeah, we are still in lockdown in various parts of the world. We've just come out of one in the UK, but lockdown wines are very much a thing. So yeah, let's build up to Christmas and enjoy, if that's what you do. Enjoy some wines, and I hope to see you in the next one.